All right, let's go ahead and get into Terraforming Mars. But the reason I know you're all watching is probably because of Terraforming Mars, but not because I'm reviewing the game, but because I'm giving one away, right? That's why you're here. It's in the title. We hit 1,000 followers on Instagram, and to a lot that may not seem very much, but I'm super excited. I have a art account as well, and because I do art, if you didn't know, it took a long time to get to like 500 followers. And so I thought this would be like years in the making. It's been super exciting to have all of you follow along. I know you all have Gmail accounts. If you don't mind subscribing, then I will put you in the running for a copy of Terraforming Mars. It's the review copy, so it's open and played once or twice, but I take very good care of games, and I promise you, it's in pristine condition. So, this is US only. I'm so sorry to those of you who are outside of the US. Shipping costs right now are absurd. It's gonna be US only for this one. I hope future giveaways, especially if it's a smaller game, will be international. So here's how you enter the competition. All you have to do is subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and put your Instagram name in the comments below. That's it. I really, really appreciate you tagging people on Instagram. No, wait, I'm making that a requirement. Tag 3 people on Instagram. It's probably 3 people who already follow me, but you know what, on the off chance that it isn't, tag 3 family members who don't care about board games, because I know you have them. Have them follow me, and then everybody wins. If they win, then they can just give you Terraforming Mars and it'll be great. Anyway, let's go ahead and check out Terraforming Mars. I'll give you a little unboxing video and a brief overview of components and how to play. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. I'll do a quick overview. I'm not really a fan of teaching you in depth how to play the game over video. I think that's better left to the people who made the game or people who want to do like really thorough rule reviews. I'm gonna give you an idea. Watching this will probably give you a jump start into how to play the game, but it's definitely not everything you need to know. So first things first, let's go over currency. You have your 1s, your 5s, and your 10s. They're these beautiful metallic cubes. They're obvious in size as well as assumed value. Once again, denominations 1, 5, and 10. Those will be placed on your player sheet in these 6 different boxes to mark their value. So if I say have 7 coins, I think they're called mega credits in the game, I would place those here. This would be, you'll usually have like 2 or 3 ore and not uranium, it's titanium. Steel and titanium. So mega credits, steel, titanium. You have your plants, and then you also will have energy and then some heat. So those track how much of everything you have. What you do with your little player cubes is you track how much you're going to produce at the beginning of each generation. So on a lot of these, you'll start with 0. It depends on what Okay. So these red cubes are going to kind of track your production in your different resources. So different cards will instruct you to move these up on the production plot, and you'll have those. So at the beginning of each generation, I will add however much to each of those resources as my production value. So mega credits are a combination of your terraforming track score. I think it's called your terraform rating. So you add your terraform rating, which everyone starts here at 20, plus the number on here. So in this case, if we were just starting the game, I would get 23. And so I'd add those at the beginning of the generation to my mega credit slot. Then my steel would produce 2, so I'd add it there. My titanium, I think is what it is, I always get the metals mixed up, is 2 there. I would add 1 to my trees, 1 to my, well, energy. Well, we'll get over that. I would add 1 to my energy, and then I would add 2 to my heat. So that's kind of how resources work. I wanted to cover that first because we kind of messed that up at first. We weren't sure where you were supposed to track those. My main issue with the game was that the rules were pretty difficult to get on board with, but just reading through the rules, it didn't seem like it was presented in the most intuitive order. However, once you get into it, it's actually pretty simple to do. That's kind of how all of your resources are managed. Now I'll go ahead and get into kind of how the game will play. Each player is given one of these corporation cards. Hopefully it focuses on that. These are like the different companies. The story is that you're all from different companies trying to go to Mars and terraform it, get it ready for life so that you can obviously have a controlling share of land and resources on Mars. So these will give you guidance and a little bit of a bonus at the beginning of the game. It kind of makes it so that you play a little bit differently each time. The cards that you're going to be getting are one of 3 colors. There's a blue, a green, and a red card type. The blue usually have ongoing effects that you can activate throughout the course. This red arrow means that you can use one of your actions on your turn. You pay the cost, which in this case is 10 mega credits, and then you do the effect, which in this one, it is to increase your heat production by 2 steps. Great card. The cost is up here in the corner. These little circles up here, they call them tags. It is kind of the building type. You'll also notice on the player on the resource track that same symbol is there. That means for paying the cost of this card, you can also use steel in order to pay its cost. It doesn't have to be all mega credits. One thing that I love about the game, you can see here on the bottom, so this is an underground detonation. So it says radiation from the nuclear blast is shielded, but over time we're still getting the heat. These are actual theories on how we could terraform Mars and get it ready for life, which is really fascinating. And they've done a great job of working that in. You have your red cards. They all have this yellow symbol in the corner, which means you play it once, it goes face down into your player area because it may be relevant later on, but it goes face down. And it's just kind of a one-time thing. In this one's case, it's raise the oxygen 1 step, remove 2 plants from any player, and you gain 2 steel. So pretty simple things. If you just read through the card, you'll get familiar with the symbology and stuff pretty early on in the game. This is a good example of a card that has building requirements. So it has the cost and then it has a stipulation. So in this one, you have to have at least 16 it has to be at least negative 16 degrees Celsius. So you can see here, this is the temperature track. You have some white cubes, which I neglected to pull out, that will track your 3 main areas of the game. You'll start at negative 30 degrees Celsius, you'll start with 0 oxygen, and you'll start with 9 ocean tiles right here. Those are kind of your 3 main areas of the game that you're trying to control. So this card says that it can't, basically that life can't be inhabited, grass can't grow in anything less than negative 16 degrees Celsius. So green and blue cards are played face up in your player area, and you'll stack on top of those. You'll notice that blue cards have an extra large silver area right here. The cards are meant to be stacked just underneath that so that you can see the possible actions. Green don't have that because they will not continue to have actions that you can do. So green cards, you can go ahead and stack with just having the name of it exposed because you will need to reference the tags that are on the card. So let's talk about how you're going to get points throughout the game. Points are awarded in a variety of ways, and it's probably the hardest thing to keep track of. There were several times that I realized that I hadn't collected points for laying an ocean tile or laying a greenery tile, but it's something that you'll get the hang of pretty quickly. So, ways you can get points. At the end of the game, your terraforming track is worth the number of points that are on there. Your terraform rating, I believe is what it's called. So various things will have you move up your terraforming rating. It's this symbol right here. If you can see it, it's like a little globe with an arrow coming off of it. And oh, it's also right here, right by my finger. On the terraform rating, if it instructs you to move up, you move up. The nice thing about the terraform rating also, if you remember, it relates to your income. So the higher your terraforming rating, the more income you're getting as well. And it's also victory points at the end. The second way to get money is every time you increase the oxygen level of the planet or the temperature of the planet, you get a point. And the other two ways to get kind of these minimal points, but still points, are playing an ocean tile or by playing a greenery tile. So all of the tiles are either cities or greenery, they're double-sided. Not all of the tiles, but city and greenery tiles do come on one. But if you play a greenery tile, then you also move your terraform rating up a track. You'll notice on the board there are some blue areas. Those are reserved for water. There are a couple cards that will allow you to break that rule, but for the most part, only water can go there, unless otherwise stated. City cards and greenery cards, or tiles, I guess, can go anywhere else if it's not blue. There are three exceptions. There's the Phobos Space Haven, the, I can't say that, Ganymede colony, and Noctis City. Those three are specific cards in the deck that allow you to build those. You cannot build any city there unless a card allows you to. Also, cities, the rule for placement, cities cannot sit next to each other. They have to have at least one area buffering them. The exception is Noctis City. If Noctis City is built, then it can have other cities attached to it, but those cities can't be next to each other. So this is not okay, but this is. The most dense cities can get is right here around Noctis City. So you get points for placing greenery as well as ocean. You do not get points for placing a city. However, at the end of the game, you will get 1 point for every greenery tile that is bordering one of your cities. So when you play a city or a greenery tile, you take one of your player cubes and you place it on there. You can see on the tile there's a little ghosted square that you can see to indicate that. You get points regardless of whether it's your greenery tile around the city or not. So even if the blue player puts a greenery tile there, I will still get a point for bordering a greenery tile. So other things, the way that the turns kind of go is on your turn you can do 2 actions, and those can be any combination of playing cards. There are these standard projects that you can always take advantage of. I'm not going to go into those in depth. It's mostly that. I mean, there are actions that you can do on here. You can exchange 8 of your greenery or 8 of your plants to establish a greenery tile, or you can trade out 8 of your heat to raise the temperature. But you keep doing up to 2 actions. You have to do at least 1 action if you want to stay in this generation, or you can do 2 and then pass the next player. It goes around until people have basically run out of their money and can't do anything else, and then you'll end the round and move on to the next generation. A couple things that happen at the end of that. All of your energy that is unused transfers into heat. So you can't build up energy, which is actually great theme-wise too. Any energy that's not utilized for the planet will be slid over into heat. You'll replenish, you'll do your income of resources, and then every player will draw 4 cards from the from the deck, and you can keep any number of those that you want. You just have to pay 3 mega credits for every one that you keep. So if I want this one and this one, I would keep those, discard the rest, and I would have to pay 6 mega credits in order to keep these 2 cards. Then you'll go ahead and play out the round, and the game ends when you have your oxygen level is up to 14%, your temperature is up to 8 degrees Celsius, and all of your ocean tiles have been placed on the board. So there are 9 of those. Once those 3 things happen, you finish out the generation and then you total up victory points. A couple areas of victory points that I neglected to mention earlier are these milestones and awards. So players can claim a milestone as soon as they've met one of the requirements, but they have to pay 8 mega credits to do so. So if I've gotten my Terraform rating score up to 35 or higher, I could pay 8 and claim that one. Then the next, if I have 3 cities built, then I could pay 8, place 1 there, and claim the mayor milestone. Then it's 3 greenery tiles, 8 building tags, or 8. You can see them on here, so that's one thing that the tags are relevant for, which is why you leave them exposed in the stack. Once you have 8 of those, you can pay 8 mega credits to claim that one. Or if you have 16 cards in hand, which is actually very difficult to do, so beware. Only 3 of these can be paid for in a game. So once 3 of them have been purchased, you can no longer get milestones. The same goes for awards, but they act a little bit differently. These are awarded at the end of the game. So these are awards that individual companies can fund. So I can pay 8 mega credits and fund the landlord award, which is whoever has the most tiles owned on Mars. Or I could fund the banker, which is who has the highest money production, the scientist, who has the most of those tags, the scientist little tag on their cards, or the thermalist, which is whoever has the most heat built up at the end of the game. And then finally there's the miner, is whoever has the most steel and titanium in their supply at the end of the game. But the cost of funding these goes up. The first one that gets funded costs 8 mega credits, the second one costs 14 mega credits, and then the last one costs 20 mega credits. That's fine because at the end of the game, your mega credits do not score toward your victory at all. So paying that is a pretty minimal cost. I think we've covered just about everything. It may seem like a whole bunch to get your head around. Once you get going, it's really not that bad. A couple things I didn't feel like were explained well enough in the rules that I want you to be aware of. We went over the resources and how they work. Around some of the icons is a little border. So there are brown borders and there are red borders. Here's an example of a red border. That means that it can affect you or anybody else that you choose. Then there are some that have brown borders. For example, this one. You can see all of those are in a brown border. That means it's relating to your production. So this one, it says requires a Jovian tag, increase your heat production and energy production 3 steps each. So you can see the brown borders or the brown box that those are in. So that's something to be aware of that wasn't explicitly explained in the instructions, or not that we saw, that you should be aware of. Other than that, the cards pretty well walk you through it. If there's a term that you don't understand, or it's naming a specific city or something, just know that if it's not out, it's not relevant, and you'll be okay. That's Terraforming Mars. I'm trying to think if I've forgotten anything. I don't think I have, but at its core, it's a really simple game. It's a little bit intimidating to get started. Hopefully this video will alleviate a little bit of that for you, because we had a little bit of a hard time with the rules. So good luck. If you win this copy that we're demoing right now, congratulations. Go ahead and play it often and treat it well. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below with your Instagram username. I will be choosing a winner in about a week's time. I'm going on vacation. I'm gonna let it run during that time. Go ahead and comment with your Instagram name. Any shares, likes, all of that is super appreciated. And I hope to do a lot more giveaways in the future. So your support allows me to give you free board games. So let's all help each other. I am super thrilled that you've watched the video this far. Remember, like and subscribe, comment with your Instagram name, and follow me on Instagram. Tag a couple people. That will get you entered into the drawing. I'm gonna be drawing 3 names just in case people don't fit the criteria and they did not do what was required for entry into the contest. So don't be disqualified on technicality. Go ahead and follow the instructions.